I'm back. I think somebody else was hosting the news one.
Did we all just get booted?
Maybe. I think somebody else was sharing their screen or something this morning.
Yeah, I just got booted out.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You were sharing too much info. They didn't want it to happen.
Yeah, well, look at Tesla. I mean, or TOS this morning. They wiped my whole workspace. Yeah, it's never happened before. I've never saw that happen. All right. Is she back? Okay. All right, you're back, Brandy. Sorry about that. It said,
yeah, I got kicked off. Sorry.
It said host had ended meeting, and then it counted down in 3 seconds to kick off. All right, so when these things start to spike, that spread it increases. Nvidia or Novak is still short here too, guys, but the spread tightens up dramatically. Yeah. Yep. So if I get in, if I wanted in Shopify right now, I'd pay probably $9 for this thing, and you can see it's opened up quite a bit right here. But there's nothing going on, so there's no, I wouldn't want to get in this thing anyway. Now, if you looked at the put options, then it's probably going to be tighter because it's going down here. So I can pull them up. There's a little bit tighter. Let me 60 and price it up. Okay. There we go. All right, here's some puts up there. See it's the spread how tight it is because the price is going down on it. 50 cents. See it? Now Shopify's got a 50-cent spread because the price is pulling back. See right here? It's 40 cents wide. Now it's open up inside. As you go back up, it'll probably start to widen up. So when you take it in the direction you think it's going to go, this spread tightens up. All right. And the way you catch it is when it starts to widen, you catch the top of it. All right. So the spread can work in your favor if it's going in the direction that you want it to go. So you saw it. This spread tightened to 40 cents. So when they thought it was going down, the puts, I got put options up there now, the spread tightened up. UPS is curling down. Novak is still short here. So when I hop in, the spread has tightened. Yep. Amazon's in a really tight range right now. Shopify's coming up. It's just ugly. It's ugly all the way up. Everything's chopping. I mean, everything's slapped right in the middle. If you look at Amazon, this compound inside bar is right at the base. That's not good. Now it could curl up and come back to the top, but right now it looks like this. There's a 2, compound 2. All this is right. All this is inside this candle here. So what we do is we wait. Right now it's wedging. So it's making lower highs, and it's actually making higher lows. So we're gonna be looking for this thing to break out one side or the other, whether it bounces out the top and then the target will be pivot high, or it breaks down and comes out the bottom. All right, if it breaks out there, the first target's gonna be 33.94. Novak is still coming down here. UPS is starting to roll over. And the good thing is it's in the top, it's in the lower 25%. It's not, if it's right in the middle, then you don't want to be nowhere near it. It needs to pop out the top of the bottom. Keep you out on UPS. Now look, UPS going to make a higher high here. Right now it's currently chopping and it's rolling over on the 15-minute. Now we need a pullback. This right here is, let me show you. There is support right here on this level. And price expands and contracts on this level. All right. Also, a lot of stuff going on right now in this thing. It's chopping sideways right here. Inside, currently inside. This is one candle. Two. All this is inside, it's in the top 25% of it. Again, we'll trade it any way it wants us to trade it. So, you know, if it consolidates here and it breaks out the top, I wouldn't trade it now until it broke out the pivot high. If it breaks down, we'll take it short. The target being pivot low. Right now it's chopping. It's on support. Let's sit right on top of support right here. So see where these wicks are. Every time these wicks came down here, every time they touch, they pull right back up.
So I know you don't guess, but since it's on the top 25% of the two that
Mhm.
compound inside one, does that make you lean more towards it being bullish?
Yeah, it does. But I always want to look at the higher time frames to kind of let me know what's going on with it. It's starting to hammer on the month, curling up on the week. It just came up that big green candle. It just made a massive move a few months ago. It is bullish. It is bullish. But you always want to take into consideration the higher time frames. But usually in the top 25% can be a bullish signal. But again, you know, just because you want it to be bullish, you know, don't be afraid to take it down. You know, never be biased. So that's hurting me for being biased. If it breaks down below support, I would short it, you know, because it can take all these stops out. And besides that, if you look on the 60 and 30, it's got some big green candles to take out. So man, I wouldn't hesitate to pull that back to the range. Yeah. Now, say if it's in a strong uptrend on the higher time frames and it comes back through range, you know, I'm not looking to take it all day. You know, I'm looking to, you know, take some quick money out of it. Yeah. The market usually tells you what to do in the first 30 minutes to an hour of the day. Whether it's going to chop or you're going to have some clean pushes. Today, the market is very choppy. It's very choppy. If you see a lot of these 60s, they're just like a big doji. Yeah. I can't believe they got rid of all my options or my watch list and everything. I'm setting my stuff here. Tesla's fixing to be short again. Novak's is still short here. Nice consistent push down here. You gotta buy next week's call on pull up Novak's right there. Novak could come all the way down this big green candle here. Yeah, it topped out, coming back down. Nice clean. It's nice and clean on the 5 minute. See on the 15, it pushed down, retested that pivot, it's coming back down. It curled up, expanded right here. If you look at the 60, let's pull it up right quick. Price expanded on the pivot. It looks like this. Okay. Now price can expand on this one. So great about these pivots. Now, this is a 60-minute chart. It's cleaner. So you see a price pushed up, rejected, came back down below the pivot high. It came up, it retested. So if it can't go higher, it's got to go lower. First target is going to be the open on this big green candle. All right, and then pivot long. Would I stay in it very long today? Nope. I wouldn't. The market's choppy.
NVIDIA's getting close to go, Jerry, on the 15.
Oh yeah, just look at that. It's got a nice red candle come up too. Novax is still being consistent. NVIDIA, it's coming off the base there. The video is gonna be long when it crosses 765. Got a 312 reversal on the 60. And where's the target at? Pivot high. And I'd probably target 771.
Make us look a Google Play.
Jerry, if NVIDIA goes, do you go with deep in the money this week calls or you buy next week?
I'd buy next week. It's just slowly moving here. I'd buy next week. Yep. At the money next week calls. It's just not going to move that fast. Now, if it was Google, Amazon, or Shop, and it could move, $5 in one candle, I'd buy it deep in the money today. But I would go ahead. I went ahead and took the profits on Novak. At the ask.
Hey, Jerry, in regards to NVIDIA, I thought we don't trade in that mother bar. We would wait to break it, but you
No.
said that, no,
Yeah.
yeah, please
Absolutely.
explain, thanks.
Well, that's the trading anymore. They're scared too. I'm not. I love it. The reason being is this is one gigantic candle here. And and draw it up for you. This is actually one candle right here. We're inside the top 20. We're in the lower 25%, so we got to wait at least until it clears the lower 25. And to me, a big gigantic candle is nothing more than a gap. And the reason I say that is because if you pull up the TPO profile, the volume profile, anywhere there's a big candle, there's a void, and there's no. The reason I call it like a gap is because there's no resistance there. And the reason they work so well is because on the lower time frame, there's just a bunch of stops. You know, it's a pivot machine gun. So a big, huge red candle or a mother bar, as they call it, is just money. And price can quickly retrace through there. Now, there's rules. You can trade a mother bar as long as price is 25% off the base for a long or 25% from the top for a short. But yeah, I mean, I won't hesitate to trade a mother bar. Yeah, they work very, very well. So if you look on the 30-minute chart here, it's just one gigantic candle. I love trading big red and green candles. So they're scared to trade them. I'm not. They're losing a lot of money by not trading them. You know, and I
Well,
think
thank you so much. I learned something new today. Thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, look, this thing, the target's going to be the open here, the wick, pivot high. Yeah, easy peasy. So on this candle here, if you stuck to the 20-30-minute chart, I'll show you. We don't trade it until we get at least one pullback. So price came down. It pulled back on the hammer. So we got a hammer. Here's our first pullback. As soon as it crossed this candle here, it's long. So price pulled back to this hammer. Thumbs up. Pulls back. There's our first pullback. As soon as it crosses this candle's high right here, it's long. You know, and if you wanted to take it when it crossed this candle here, you can. Right? Target's going to be open. So yeah, 100%. We'll trade them.
And on that
Jerry,
note,
look at
Jerry,
that
I mean, I guess it's all
5-minute
kind of relative to the like size of the mother bar, because in that case, we're talking about it's a $20 mother bar as opposed to some of the smaller stocks. You know, if it's $3 or $4 spread, you might treat that differently, right?
Nah, I treat it the same exact way. The only thing that
Okay.
separates them is price and time. That's the only thing that separates these patterns. If this pattern happened on, if that same exact pattern was on the week, it'd be a swing. It'd play out the same exact way. I could care less about price. The pattern's what matters. Patterns are repeatable. Well, here, let's just do this right here. Let's look at Novax. I took profits on it, mother bar. Let's pull it up. We'll pull up to 60. See that big bar there? Target's going to be open. So if that red candle was $300 wide, it'd be the same exact play. It'd be the same exact play. Yeah. The reason it works so well is this is a pivot. There's so many stops to be taken out on this thing. It's a pivot machine gun on a 5-minute. Plus, there's no resistance here. All right. The most resistance is at point of control, which is where most shares are bought and sold at for the day, or the week, or the month. Right? There's no resistance here. There's no resistance. There's no support. There's no buyers. There's no sellers. There's nothing in there but a bunch of stops to be taken out, which kicks us down. You know, that's all it does. So Novax. All right, there's that big green candle on the 60. So let's go to 1 minute. And you know, you can even drop down the tick chart. And look, the tighter the bigger the candle, the tighter the stops are stacked. There's all those stops right here. We're taking all these right here out. And there's a gap. That's why they work so well. And if you look at the 1 minute, that's a beautiful pattern. Look at that. I mean, that's just so easy to read. It's clean. Just super clean. Starts chopping right here, right? You take it on the break. It comes back down, retest, and keep going. It's just easy to read. But yeah, I could care less of the price. Price
Hey,
means nothing.
Hey Jerry, I got a question for you. How are you choosing the names that you want to focus on going into the day? What is it that like interests you?
I trade the same tickers every single day, and usually it's sufficient. You know, I trade about 20 tickers, and say for 3 or 4 days, one doesn't perform. It's just chopping. It's not doing anything. It's spready, which means there's like a bunch of wicks, a bunch of dojis and stuff. It gets kicked, and I stick the next one in there. I like tickers that are at least 20 bucks or more. I want them to move at least $3 a day. I prefer 10 to 20 to $30 a day. So they gotta be able to move a lot. You know, I want them to be in a good clean pattern. I want them to be in an uptrend. Yeah, so it's gonna be clean price action. Tesla's going down. If it breaks the low, Tesla will be short when it breaks the pivot. But they're consistent. You know, if you look at a ticker, I suggest everybody get them get you a monitor, put your favorite tickers up there, whether it's, you know, tight spreads, big movers, whatever you like. Learn their personality. Like, I can always find something to trade on these two monitors here. And I also keep up my 10% scan. Now, if you look at the 10% scan, it had JKS on it. It's got Nike, Space, Hibbett, all the big ones. If somebody's talking about it, if it's got news, if it's got a merger, if it's got a split, it's going to be on this 10% scan. This scan finds Momo stocks. All right, it's going to be on here. These are the Momo plays. If it's a gap, you know, if it's good earnings, whatever it is, it's going to be right here. So usually I can find stuff to trade on my monitors. And the reason I keep on the monitors is I know their personalities. I know they can move a lot. I can see any signal instantly. I can see any kind of signal right now. And that's what's good about having them in front of you. You don't need a scan to tell you that it's puking, or it's reversing, or it just TTO'd on the 15 and it's coming down. Yeah. So I suggest getting you a group of tickers and watch them. Put them up on a screen and look at them. Just look at them. All right,
Yeah,
see
my-
Novax coming down that big green candle there.
And then my other question is, when you're like going long or shorting stocks, are you considering time frame continuity? Like if you go, like, are you ever going against time frame continuity? And
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I have no problem going against time frame continuity. When you go against, you got to know what you're doing first off. Let's say the month, the week is green, but the 4 hour of the day is red. You know, all I'm going to do is, well, first of all, I got to say that the reversals happen on the lower time frames first. So if you're going to turn the day and the 4 hour red or green, that reversal is going to happen on the base. So say it's been pushing up, but it's red. Let me pull this up. I'll show you right here. I know that. All right. So we'll take this right here for instance. Say it's been green on a month and a week, and it's in an uptrend. All right. And all of a sudden it starts to pull back. These 2 days it's red. All right. So you're in conflict now. So on this day here, we look at the 60 and the 4 hour, and we see price starts to push back up. All right. As soon as we get that first pullback and it crosses a certain height of the candle, which is 25%, we can take it long with the target being here and here. So we can trade in conflict as long as we get confirmation, and that's how we catch big old huge moves. All right. So if we wait until it's back in the time frame continuity, which would be right in here, then we've lost out on this whole move. Now, if you take it when it starts to reverse here, then we'll catch the top of this candle at least, and then the new highs. So if you know what you're doing, you can trade in conflict to catch the bigger moves, right? Now, if you're happy spending 6 hours to catch 50 cents, that's okay too. But I'd rather, you know, having to spend my time, I want to catch 10 or 20 bucks. And if I'm going to scalp, I want to catch at least $4 or $5 in a minute. And that's what's great about shopping Amazon and and stuff like that. These big ones, you're in and out.
Thanks, Jerry. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Yeah, so I'll definitely trade mother bars. I'll trade in conflict. Don't matter.
Hey, Jerry, go back to NVIDIA, show Ann something on this, I think, on the 5 minute, if you could maximize it.
Mhm. Novak's is still short here. I went ahead and took profits on it. Baidu's coming up. Baidu's target is long, but its target's the high. When it crosses the high to be long, you can add to it. Yeah. So remember, if if you see a big mother bar, if you see a big, huge red or green candle, man, you should see dollar signs.
So see, you have that pivot down there roughly around 760.56.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, you probably really don't want to take that the thing till you get to the right. See that red candle that's in that range where it's sitting right there off to the left? Probably don't want to go higher. You want to make sure it clears that. No, over more. Yeah, keep going left, the big one. Yeah, there's a pivot there, right?
Yeah.
So that pivot's going across. You don't want to really take it till it clears that red candle right there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
Because,
just be aware of those pivots, and because otherwise they snake bite you.
yeah, you're exactly right. And here's why. Well, I said I keep, I'm just so used to doing it. I'm glad you brought that point up. That pivot extends all over here. That's relevant. That's support and resistance, right? So what happens is if it comes up, right, and reverses or pull back the upside, that's your first target. And the reason being is that support can now become resistance. It could double top here, reverse and go back down. So when it clears that, it's safer to wait till it clears it and then get a pullback. Right. So the pivots are everything. The pivots mean a lot, man. I'm telling you, they are relevant. I mean, you see price all the time, touching them and bouncing, and I mean, they're relevant. I mean, they work all the time. So if it bounces reverses, there's your first target pivot. See, right now it's bouncing right straight to the middle of it. So it's just chopping. So,
And even with that, Jerry, you probably want to take a little bit above, like you showed on that candle right there, just a little bit above it at that angle, just so it clears it. Otherwise, it could be a fake out.
yeah, you don't want to really take it until price is above it, because right now price is sitting right in the middle of it. So here's your pivot. It extends. You wouldn't want to take it until price is clearly above it. Right now, it's just stuck right in the middle of it.
But what I'm saying is I probably wouldn't take it till that candle, that big red candle, right? That, and then a little bit above that, on an angle, how you draw your broadening angle from that candle.
Yeah.
Because you get caught too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I draw it even off that candle.
Here.
Yeah. Just in a day today, just on a slight angle. No, the one, the candle after it to the left.
Right here.
Yeah. I mean, the market's moving slow. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, that seems right. Right now,
Maybe not quite that steep. Maybe not quite that steep, but
there's this right here's a trend line. See, it's touched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. That's relevant right now. It's in a channel. It's in a wedge. But yeah, I wouldn't do anything with it right now because it's chopping sideways.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that one candle to the left is what you got to clear.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, if you're going to take this long anytime soon, it definitely needs to be above that.
Yep.
For sure.
That one candle is exactly between the white line and the lavender line.
What's that?
The two that where you're circling starts at the starts at the white line and then goes all the way down to the pink.
Yeah. So the point of control is where most shares have been bought and sold for the day. And that acts as support and resistance. See, as it comes up, they're just most shares are bought and sold in this area. And that's this line moves. That's
Right.
officially
What of those lines do you give the most weight to?
point of control. The pink one.
Absolute infinity.
point of control. Texas fishing to be short here. The POC line is the most important. It's 212 on a 4-hour inside. Is going to break the day. You can see a gap there. Yeah, that point of control line is very important. So that's where everybody's comfortable buying and selling for the day.
Anyway, you could turn that guy's mic off.
Yes, sir. There we go. Okay.
So Jerry, I'm looking at NVIDIA on the 15. I'm seeing a gap on, because I have volume profile up on mine. I see, is it 765, basically 765.33, and then there's a gap above that. If it gets above 765-ish.
You
Is that right?
think about taking it long. Right
Yeah.
now, it's just a choppy mess. You know, it is making higher highs and higher lows. It is moving. Hey guys, Tesla's gonna be long, or short if it crosses 676 here. Yeah, Novaks are still kicking ass. Target's still open on Novaks. NVIDIA is it's just too choppy right now. And yeah, it does have that big, huge red candle there, which is nice, but it's got to be clean. Like if we look at Novaks, that's clean. It's cleanly coming down that big candle. Sometimes they're clean, sometimes they're not. Novaks, Novak or NVIDIA, I'm sorry. I'm kind of scared to mess with it right now. I want to see clean price action. All right, Tesla's fixing to be short here. The reason we got to be careful with Tesla, because it's every time it came to this area here, it bounced. Right. So we might take it back up. We need a clean break to take it short. Price expands on these pivots, so it can come down just a hair and then pull back. Expanded from here already. Yeah. And there is price expansion at these pivots, 100%. If you got a Novaks, you should be making a lot of damn money if you're still in it. So right here, we're at a pivotal moment on Tesla. Let's pull it up right quick. We're going to look at the higher time frame to see if there's anything relevant or important at this area. Right now on the 15, there is a pivot there. It's clearly marked. Now we'll go to the higher time frames. Inside month, 2 up, making higher highs, higher lows. Inside day with a gap below it. All right, so it's a doji yesterday, it's red today. It did make a lower high on the daily. It made a lower high on the 4-hour, 3. So it's coming down. So if you looked at the 4-hour, if you looked at it closely, it made a lower high, so to make a higher high. That's the first sign of weakness. It's also 212 on the 60. So it could come down and fill this gap. Inside on the 5-minute, right? And it's a retest on the pivot. So we pull this back up, you see it. So it breaks down below pivot low, it's pushed up and try to go higher, can't. So if it breaks back below 675, 62, it'll be short. Novaks is still kicking ass. $95 bucks. Which one's got that? 193's target on this thing. Shopify. Novaks is short. You're not in it. Yeah, NVIDIA is just a choppy mess. All right, let's watch Shop here. We can take Shop short. And Shop, you buy deep in the money because we're just going to scalp it. So Shop is short. Shop. It's showing 2-2 on the 15. All right. So nope, well, it's not short right this second. It's a clean break. VIX is straight down and SPY is just stuck. Tesla breaks the short on 15. It's going to be short here. Right now, Shopify's in a really tight range. Could have been shorted. Right now, we're sitting away. Novax ain't gonna stop. Now there's a gap below Novax too. Yeah, they think that we're learning too much. They're shutting us down. Baidu's almost a target, starting to roll over. If you look at these things, you'll see them. They'll start to roll. You can tell when they're starting to slow down because the price will start to roll over. It's like a wave. Yeah. A lot of momentum is straight down, or almost a 45-degree angle. And then as it starts to cup, it starts getting smaller. You'll see it roll. If you watch the candles, you'll see. Zoom just now alerted me. Appreciate that. I do, because it looks similar. Yeah. Max, have a good day, bud. Yeah, Texas touches very low. We can't really mess with it just yet. Outside, let's take a look at VMO. All right, now look here. Shopify's bounced off the base here. It could go back to 1463, but it's the candles are small. He's on travel. We want bigger candles. So this morning when this thing opened up, it had big candles. Right now it's small candles. So in 5 minutes, it's moving about $4. All right, Tesla. Tesla's trying. We need a clean break of this 2125. All right. And look on the 15-minute, it pushed up, retested, it's come back down. Tesla breaks, next target 668. All right, it's throwing a short signal right now. We're going to give it a second. We want a clean break. All right, Tesla short right now. Tesla is short. Target is 672, 667, the gap fill. And remember, take your money when you're ready. Don't wait on me to tell you to take anything. I'm gonna take it when I get ready. If I'm up 3%, I'm happy, I'm gonna take it. If I want 100%, I'll take it or I'll break it. Continuation. Up 14%. Gets close to 20. I'm gonna take my money and run with it. Yeah. All you do is join the ask, or say, or move your limit up manually. The worst thing you can do is join. Just try to chase the bid.
Hey, guys, I'm gonna call it. Thanks for everything, Jerry. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, buddy. We'll see you Monday. I've been sitting on my stuff. I sit and wait. I'm really so sick. Got kicked out of Tesla. All out. They could go inside and go back down. I don't care. I ended up with my limit down just a little bit. Good luck, 322. Boy, if you go up next month. All right, test is short again. You can scalp if you want to. Novak, holy shit. That's a short still. You got back in it. The video's breaking down. Tesla, remember, it's got a gap fill down here. The market's been choppy. I just don't want to stay in something too long. Roku's breaking down. Etsy's almost a target. Not in Etsy, but Etsy, the target was this big red candle or the green candle or mother bar. So it's a daily. See that big green candle? Target's gonna be open. And it's right on the open. Tesla puking up 18%. $19. Crazy. Novak's done. You. That's why I love those big red candles. Money. Target's 193.79. I never got back in it. Shoulda. Volume's increasing 2125 or down. Big volume rolling in. People selling this thing off. So I see another pull back on it. Get in it. Actually, it's hitting the first target right now. Yeah, it just hit it. That's up 22%. Next target on Tesla. It's at a gap fill. It's probably in a gap fill today. Next target on it is 667.44. And then gap fill. So Novak. Yeah. Novak's gonna gap fill. Those beans. When I'm looking at the contract, it tells me exactly what I'm a PO percent. So I'm just looking at the percentage on the contract, just right straight from the screen. It's on mobile. So when I'm playing, I've got my mobile phone up so I can see every contract I'm in, exactly what the P&L is and a percentage. And instead of saying, I'm up, $200, I can say I'm up 10%. It's just easier. No, I use Active. I've got a laptop, and I trade a different account on iPad, but I keep the mobile up so it's easier for me to see all the contracts I'm in at one time. Oh yeah. Sorry. So I don't trade it with the mobile. I just use it to see P&L real quick and a bunch of different options. I'm in multiple things. Oh shit. I keep getting your name mixed up. I'm sorry, Anthony. VMO, yeah, I forgot to look at VMO. I keep forgetting it's you. How you been doing, Anthony? You had a pretty good week. Oh, VMO, beast. Nice, clean. Solo hammer. Inside, got a target at 58, making higher highs, higher lows. Breaking through daily pivot. Man, long consolidation. A long consolidation, ready to break. Just trying to push back up here. VIX is still red. So weird. So I got into Tesla. I got maybe 1% of it, I got out of it. Not hardly nothing. It'll probably still go down here. I'm just not gonna stick to it. I got greedy on it. I won't keep on going. BMO, it's really good. Look at volume, incredible. Probably not optional, is it? Oh, it is. Not bad. Bad at all. BMO looks really good. Well, let's get down on UPS because they're going to rip back up here. I think Novavax is pulling back right now. It needs to pull back on all time frames. It almost filled that gap. Yeah, Nvidia is chopping. It's coming down, but it's just still too choppy. That's well. Yep. Yeah. So when so my mobile, my phone is connected to my account, and it'll show me everything. It'll show all the contracts I'm in. It'll show profit and loss for the day for each one. It'll also show me percentage, the PL. So if I'm in a contract, I can actually see the percent and the percentages up or down. Yeah, I can see them all at once. So if I'm in 3 different contracts, or 3 different tickers, I can see them all instantly. And I'm sure there's a way you can do it with active trader and stuff, but it had to be really sufficient. It had to be quick. No.
I could tell you how to do it if you want. If you go to the monitor tab in TOS, and you go under activity and positions, and then what I do is I have, I guess on mine, it's the very last expansion where you can expand down the position statement. And then you can detach that. And I just keep that in my, on my screen at all times, and I can see exactly what the same thing that you're talking about.
Okay, so tell me one more time.
So go to the monitor tab.
Okay.
And then you go, make sure you're on the activity and positions sub tab.
Gotcha.
And then all the way on the bottom, or almost all the way to the bottom, you'll see it says position statement. You see that?
Oh, yeah, I see it. Yep.
Yep. Expand that, and you should see all the positions that you're in.
Yep, see it.
And then if you go to the right where the like little hamburger menu is, and just detach that. And I leave it floating on my desktop. But I'm sorry, bottom, let's see here. I'm trying to find where to detach it. Did you get that far though? Did you see like where I was talking about?
Yeah, 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 I'm on there right now. Spin a little bit. I see where I can take a screenshot. What's that group? I can detach the bottom half news.
No, what you'll do is go to the very top right of the entire screen, and you'll see the detach button up there. And then what you want to do is minimize everything else, like working orders and filled orders and cancel orders.
Gotcha. Okay, I've done that. Now I can minimize it.
You can minimize the ones that you don't want to see and just keep the actual position statement open.
Oh, that's so cool.
And now I got, profit and loss. I got, PL percent. You can expand each.
So I can gear it up and put it up there. Let's say, push the group high, go price more, change quantity days. Change it.
Any way you could show that?
Yeah, yes, that's it. You have to, if you click to a new screen, you have to pull it up each time. Make it small. Yeah, make it small. Why not? Let me see here. Well, I would, but I don't want. It gives the monitor tab gives away too much of my personal information. It's very easy to do. You go to monitor. You have the top right where it says detach. Click detach. That's it. So you'll see the same tab. It'll just be a detail. Well, that's right. All right. So look, just like this page here, you just hit monitor, detach. You'll click this button right here. And it'll detach it just like that right there.
And just minimize everything on that when you detach it. Minimize everything you don't want to see and just leave open the position statement.
Yep. So when he's saying minimize, see these buttons here? I'm saying minimize it. So you'll have that up there. You'll detach it. And you can make this as big or small as you want. And you're good to go. You click on something, it'll be down here in the base. And you just click it. You pull it right back up. Nice, thanks for that.
I tell you, man, I got the scans down. I got the layout down. Almost got the strat down.
Yeah. Dude, you're gonna be on fire, man. I really, if anybody's having problems, like they want, not having problems, but if they want to learn how to set up automatic, what do you call it? You've got a video on it where you can set up trigger for entries.
Yeah, like conditional orders.
Yeah, yeah, we talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, ultimately, you can enter into an order based off of, the underlying stock price. And you can also, exit orders based off of a condition as well, based on, the underlying stock price. So I put a video out a couple months ago, I think it was, that showed, actually setting up a template so that anytime you want to enter in an order, and it's not for like scalping or anything like that. I don't think. I think it's just a little bit too involved for that. But if you're going to swing something and you want to just enter in at a certain price as soon as it breaks over a certain pivot or a strike candle combo, you can do that, and it'll automatically enter you. And then let's say you want to exit as soon as the price drops below the low of the prior candle. You can set it so that it just does all that automatically.
Where's that video at?
I think it's under resources. Let me find it for you, Joe. Hold on.
All right.
So on Tesla, we're either going to retest here and go lower, or we're going to break through and go back through range. So it's going to do a few things here. It could do a few different things. So if we come up, retest pivot low, and then come back through, or they'll either break through, retest, and then go back to pivot high. And just sit and wait. And the retest can look a couple different ways. It could actually wick up through it just a little bit and then come back down. That's price expansion.
Joe, I just put it in the chat.
Okay. I still can't copy in the chat.
Gosh.
I see the link. I see the link though. I could get the link. I could click on the link, but I can't copy. Were you able to change that setting, Jerry?
No. I try to figure it out. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah,
I
Zoom
saw
is
an
not-
option to do it. Just wanting. Let's see if I can do it right now. Yeah, sometimes if you're new, it's best not to trade for the first 15 or 30 minutes. Thanks for posting that, Tim. Oh no. I'm pretty good at math. Percentages though. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be nice if Tesla broke through pivot low and came back through the high. And go back through range. And it'd be nice if Novak's pulls back here and then comes back down.
Thanks, Tim. I got that video.
You bet.
Yeah, the first 30 to 60 minutes, yeah. Yeah, if you're brand new, yeah, I'd wait minimum 10 o'clock. My phone likes to beep sometimes for no reason. All right, here we go.
Hey Jerry, this is Robert. You can call me Bobby. I was wondering, we've talked before, we've been around each other for a while, but I was just thinking, I must have woke up in the middle of the night sort of thing. And I was thinking about how Rob talks about like, oh, identifying participants over price and time. Like essentially, you know, what you're trying to do over. And then I was thinking about how your pivots are effective and when does the real move happen. And sort of, okay, and then this is just how my brain works. So, but I'm just trying to like, okay, well, what's the relationship between identifying participants over price and time and like when price is going to move, like those pivot points, which I don't use TOS, so I don't have as much access. I'm using TradingView, but I was wondering like how I can, I don't know, I'm trying to understand your methods better and, you know, incorporate them better into my trading.
Gotcha.
Yeah, does that make any sense? That might be too theoretical.
So you want to know how price reacts around these pivots, or how you can trade around
That's
them?
essentially it. Yeah, just and then because in the back of my head, I think I'm with the strat. I think I'm getting pretty good at the strat. Like, hey, we're gonna make an outside bar here. We're coming to, you know, make an outside bar down there, or stuff. Looking for the next two to break the previous two, or kind of conceptually, that's how I think about it. But then, but obviously, with options, you want price to move. You don't want to wait.
Yeah,
you want it to we want that volatility and stuff.
Yeah, we want it to work instantly. And I think the reason pivots work so well is because, first of all, other people are using them, but they mark, you know, you don't like the strat, don't call it that, but it's resistance and support. And there's orders stacked on these lines. So when they break, they either break immediately or they don't. So the breaks cause a volatile movement. And, you know, when I first started trading the strat, you know, I traded individual candles, and first thing in the morning, I still trade individual candles. But as I progressed, I started noticing that everything inside this pivot, between the pivot high and the pivot low, is a inside bar on some higher time frame. Now, sometimes it's marked as a 2, but only because if price wicks up 1 penny, it marks it as a 2 that takes out prior highs. So, of course, when you're trading the compounds 2s and the compound 1s, what happens is you catch bigger movements. Now, if you trade a 2-1-2 candle, you can still catch a decent move, but if you're trading blocks of candles, you're going to catch a gigantic move. And that's all we're doing essentially is a compound. Anything between the pivot high and the pivot low is at 1. Everything before that is a 2. So essentially we're trading a 2-1-2. And the pivot high break of the high or the pivot low break is just a break of the inside candle. And you know, the strat says take it when it breaks the inside candle, target the top of the 2 or the low of the 2. And it's essentially what we're doing. But when it breaks, it takes out prior stops. Other people are loading in because they're watching the same areas we're watching, and price just shoots through it. And you can see a lot of times, if you go back and look at the pivots, like every time it touches, well, look right here on Tesla. Every time it made it, but you know, you'll see hammers and shooters come off of it. You'll see price reacts with wicks. So it starts way over here. The pivot started over here, and look, hammer. All right, starts with a hammer. Comes up to the top, shooter. Comes back to the bottom, hammer. Comes down, makes a hammer. Comes over here, makes 2 shooters, hammer. I mean, these pivot points, man, they're marking something. You know what I'm saying? They're not just, it's not happening by chance. It happens too much to be by chance. And when it breaks, it takes a lot of force. It takes a lot of volume to break out of this range. And with that big break comes velocity and comes in price movement. So when we take the break, especially first in the morning, price either shoots to it now or it don't. And if it don't, there's a problem. We need to be out of it anyway. So when you trade a block of candles as opposed to one, you're going to get a bigger move, more violent move. And that's what we need with these options. We can't, if we're in an option that moves 50 cents, that's nothing. It could wick back and you could lose 50 cents. So we got to have these gigantic moves, and and that's how I target them, is these pivot breaks, or say a price touches the pivot, it fails, it wicks off of a shooter, then we're going to target the pivot low, and you see it targeted a pivot low right here. And then we have breaks, then we have retest. So on this one, it breaks through pivot low, retest for this candle here, then it's short, so it crosses the low. So it's just a 2-1-2 down. And the same thing happens up. So price will push up, come back down and retest it, and then it goes. So it just, everything revolves around these pivots. And that's just what it is. It's just how it is.
Have you noticed, is that similar to the average true range, or is that different?
The average true range is different. The average true range can create bias. Now, I keep it up on my 60-minute chart just to say, what's the possible move of a ticker. But if you have lines up saying, this is what it's going to move today, then if it starts to move higher, you might be scared to take it, thinking there's exhaustion risk. So anything that creates bias, just don't use it, or don't hold it to be true. You see what I'm saying? Because there's some ticker that says, hey, I can move $3 a day on average, but I move $10 a day. Well, if you assumed, it moved its full length for the day, you probably wouldn't have took it long. And the same is true for orb, or open range break. You actually used to have it up. It works great, but it creates bias. So anything that creates bias, you need to get rid of it. So you can't be afraid to take a ticker up in the morning, down at lunch, and back up after afternoon. So we want things to go a certain way, but we can't. We got to play what's in front of us. But the pivot breaks are where it's at, man. They're important. They really are. They are for me anyway.
No, it makes it's made man, I was there. I've been around since you were in Jen's group. And,
yeah.
Yeah, and I've earlier, we've talked before, like on a Saturday night and stuff like that. And I do remember, like, you look for those long periods of consolidation, and then the bigger the consolidation, the bigger the move. And so I guess conceptually I get it. And then maybe now I'm trying to, then I just spent a lot of time on like focusing on rev strats, like nonstop. Because that would just, for visually, you got to see it, like you have to be able to, your mind has to be able to see something to help you act. And have the confidence when you're making those moves and then also, anyway, so essentially now, like, I'm trying to, okay, but what I really want with options are those spikes and those moves. I have trouble with waiting around, and it's also risky. So to wait, to give it too much time. And then you lose confidence if you're, because your mind can change if you have to wait around too long.
Yeah, because now you're overthinking it. You hesitate, and when you hesitate, a few big seconds can make a big difference. Yeah. And then sometimes, if you lose 2 or 3 trades in a row, it could, kind of damage you psychologically, because you don't want to make another bad trade.
Oh, and exactly.
It's not that your process is bad or your strategy is bad. It's just the market's not cooperating. And you reduce size or wait for a better setup.
Yeah. Like yesterday, I saw Baidu and I was like, that thing's like, it looks like it wants to pop, and took it. And just let it run because I had a really good entry, but eventually it came back in towards the end of the day, as you'd expect, because like they're gonna try they out if they're gonna go up and or
Yeah.
price could reverse. And so it's like psychologically to sit through that little try is just like, I don't know what'll happen tomorrow morning,
Yeah.
and maybe I should just take a little profit. So anyway, but it's like, oh, but it did have a big spike up today.
Yeah, Baidu
Anyway,
was
I'm just
nice.
talking now, but yeah, Baidu
Yeah.
was pretty nice.
Yeah, it's so good, man. But a lot of stuff that I do is not necessarily strat, but like I trade mother bars. I love big green candles. And
Yeah.
I'll
A lot of
trade-
stuff is inside some other bar, right?
Yeah, everything is inside of something. All the time, unless it's making new highs or something. But if you stick to monthly and weekly charts that are just beautiful, man, that's it's half the battle's over with. If you trade something that's so choppy or got a bunch of wicks everywhere, it's gonna make it harder to trade. Like eBay, it's clean. This is a plus month and an A plus week. It's just easy. It's easy to read it. All right, it's pushing up. It breaks out of consolidation. It retests. It's pushing back up. And same thing for the day. eBay's in an uptrend. It's a little extended on the daily, but you see it break. And these pivot breaks. You could focus. You could have a strategy just based on these pivot breaks. When it breaks
So
the pivot.
do you think using the strat on a bigger time frame, not like strictly strat, but roughly strat, like, okay, this is where a pivot break would be. Could I even, because I do tend to only focus on a few tickers, like, oh, here's my few tickers, I could draw my own pivot lines. Or do you think it's just, that's too much work and you want something that can do it for you?
Well, no, because I know what the pivots are. There's major pivots and there's minor pivots. And a pivot is a high with it. Pivot high is a high with at least 2 down bars, and then the same thing's true for pivot low. But this pivot study it's got to have 8 down candles in a row to even mark a pivot. But they work because all the time you'll see a pivot and it breaks. See down here on eBay. It consolidates. When it breaks, big volume, a big break, right? So it works or it don't. And let me draw this because you can have a strategy on the pivot, on just the pivot breaks. So price comes up, you'll mark it, right? You're going to put an alert a little bit below the pivot. When it comes up to it, you're going to see to make sure it's an uptrend on the 5 minute, right? So you're going to have at least a one pullback to the upside. You're going to take it when it breaks immediately, right? You're going to take initial break, then you're going to wait until it retests. See how it comes back? It can't go lower, so it's going to go higher. So then you take the retest. And the only thing that separates these charts, man, is time. So the 5 minute, 15 day, week, it's all the same pattern. This same thing happens on all time frame. Even the 5 minute, right now on the test right now on the 5 minute, it pushed down, it retests on the downside. So it came down, touched the bottom, came back. All right, now we're looking for a push through and a test and then another push up. Well, you see it comes over. All right, it breaks through, it retests, it goes. It's chopping sideways. It chops sideways here. All right, so this is just a 2. It goes inside. It breaks, it makes another 2. It goes inside. Now we're breaking the next compound. So you see it pushes up here, breaks through it. A lot of volume comes through. So if you mark just the pivot, you make a lot of money. Now, I always play the initial break and then I'll wait till it retests. All right, because 90% of the time, this move here before it pulls back, you're going to measure that from the high to the pivot, and the next move is always twice. It's always going to be 2 times the first. Or if that's a $3 move here, you're going to have $3 at the top. It's a measured move. Same thing here. If this is a $3 move here, when this thing retests, then you'll see a $3 move up here. So this happens on the 5 minute, the 15, the 30, the 60, the daily, whatever, the yearly. this pattern happens on every single one. And another thing is you could take it and it ranges, right? So if price bounces, they'll usually bounce with a hand or a shooter, you're going to target the pivot low. And then when it bounces, a lot of times it'll wick through just a little bit and then come back up. Once you get that, it's pushed above the pivot low, you wait at least one pullback, you take it. Where's your target at? Pivot high. Right? And I've even got a scan that finds these pivots on the 4 hour. So I'll show you right now. So, I mean, I'll give you the scans. I give anybody that wants them the scans, but we'll pull it up real quick. So you can make a strategy just on this right now, JKS. And I think JKS is about to the top now, but let me show you. It's a 4 hour. Now this has already made its move here, but marked it. Let's say they all look exactly like this on that scan. So pivot, it marks them coming through. So it's just an expansion of the Brownian formation. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to wait until price pushes back above pivot low. You're going to wait on a retest. There's a retest. See, it touched the pivot. So this was resistance. Now it's support. You're going to take it when it crosses the high of this candle on the pullback. Where's your target at? Pivot high. And this could be a swing. Or you can day trade it. So as soon as it crosses this right here, you're going to take it. You can trade it for the day. Or you can say, you know what, I'm going to hang on to this and I'm going to get $10 move out of it. Now this pattern works on all of them. Let me clear this right here and I'll show you.
How do you identify, like if you were doing it manually, how would you identify pivots? Or say I wanted to do a script for TradingView. Maybe there is already a good one, but like, is yours particular to something good you found, or are there multiple sort of styles of pivot studies? It's custom. Okay. So what for you makes your pivot study like quality? Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems to work. I guess
well, basically his pivot is when it hits a low, it's got to have 8 candles above it. And if it has 8 candles above it, that's a low. And then on a high, it has a high, and then it has to have 8 candles below it, and then draws the line.
Yeah. So somebody could probably make it for TradingView. It wouldn't be hard.
Okay.
So I'd share the script.
So is it 8 2 downs, or is it approximately?
No, just 8 down. It has to be 8 lower candles. Forget 2 down.
8 lower lows.
Yep. Just like if you saw that candle up the top, it hit a high, the first one. They got to be 8 after it, and then it will draw the line at the top as being a high pivot.
Okay. Hey, this thing went up for 8 candles. We're looking for a downward move, or it's going to explode because look back this way. It's hit this so many times.
And another thing Jerry can show you that he showed me, I thought it's pretty good. Jerry, if you go to Baidu on the 4 hour, right? On the 4 hour, it had an inside bar, but it closed high. And that was a strong day yesterday on Baidu. That would have probably give you a thought to swing it.
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
So on Baidu on the 4 hour, right? Look at the power that thing came off of, right? It went lower and then it pushed way high, right? It closed close to the high, right? So that would have gave you a signal that was inside bar towards the top that sort of just consolidated. And so you could have swung that yesterday just due to the power of that candle coming off that pivot. Right. It really.
You're talking about the inside, the one candle there in the 4 hour.
Yeah, exactly. But use the 4 hour. I mean, that's something that Jerry.
I do like the 4 hour. I love the
Jerry taught me that one, and it works. I mean, that's and let alone it came on strong off that pivot.
Yeah.
Then up, and then it consolidated for the rest of the day because that's such a radical move, and then it does it again.
Yeah. So when it opened up too, it broke. But it retested it, that wick. So it actually wicked down that open and came back up. So it retested it and then pushed up the rest of the day. And then at the end of the day, it went inside. So it's just a 2-1-2 continuation, measure, move.
Beautiful.
All it is. But if you watch it, man, when they break through these pivots, it's usually a big candle, you know.
Okay, that's, yeah, it's sort of like somebody, if you worked your way backwards, you said, okay, when did these huge candles happen? And they kind of worked their way back. Okay, it happens after all this stuff.
Yeah.
Hey,
Because I-
Jerry, another thing
yeah.
that you can show someone right now, if you wouldn't mind, is go to the SPY, look at the 30-minute. I'll show you why Jerry always says to take your, on the TTOs, just a little higher. On the SPY 30-minute, look at it. It took it out by 1 penny and turn around and reverse it. That's why when you go for those TTOs, you got to go accelerate a little bit higher than that. Otherwise, you're going to get taken out.
Yeah, they're trying to track you is what they're doing. Yeah. Yeah, so, you know, usually it'd be a signal right here and just wake up a few pennies there. It's just chopping. But yeah, you always want to take it a few pennies above your entry, especially after 11 o'clock. So say if you wanted to break the high of this candle here, then you want to give it, you know, 10 cents above it.
Here's something to look at that so instinctively, I was looking at Tesla today on the 15, and it was about, let's see here. Excuse me. 1 second.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was around 9:30, 9:45, and I think I wanted to take that down, and I think I might have been looking at the 5 minutes.
Yeah, Jerry actually told you wrong. I meant QQQ. I told you SPY. But if you look at the Qs on that 30-minute, you'll see it 1 penny. Sorry.
It's a short target 670.
Yeah, if you look at the Qs on the 30-minute, just look at those 2 candles, 1 penny, and then you go just so you show people.
Oh, you're right here.
Yeah, sorry, I said SPY, but I meant Qs. I mean, one penny on those last 2 candles. The last one took it out by 1 cent, then turned around and reversed it.
It's so
You see what-
close. When it broke that pivot, right?
Yeah, but I'm talking about the last 2 candles, right? It took it out by 1 cent. The furthest right candle from the next left one, 1 cent, and then turn around and reversed it.
Oh yeah, right here.
Yeah. I mean, this is the way you give some people, some new people some ideas, just to be careful.
yeah.
Just because you TTO out, you know, you got to be careful that doesn't turn around and reverse right, and that one did it.
Right here.
1 cent.
Yep, so it just came down, pushed up 1 cent. Down. That'll be short because it's here, target will be here.
That's why it's just always best to have, other than like Jerry says, first thing in the morning, you know, give it 5-6 cents. Otherwise they'll, you know, get you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You gotta give it
'Cause I think-
2 cents. Nobody's actually trying to TT on the downside here, guys.
But you gotta ask the other guy asked you a question, sorry, that on Tesla.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah, if unless if things are quiet and yeah, then there's more theoretical stuff. We're just, uh, so I was looking at Tesla around 9:30, 9:45, and that's when I wanted to do puts. And essentially what I saw was the shooter and then the hammer. I guess it turned into, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm at the wrong place. 9:30. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you had a 2 up that didn't really go. Then it started to come down, and I wanted to take it.
Are you looking at the 5-minute chart or?
I'm looking at the 15 right now. I think I was looking at both the 30 and the 15.
Yeah.
Around 9:30, 9:45. Yeah, I guess the 30 looks a little cleaner. But if you, where my eye sort of caught it, what I thought overall was a good spot. And so, yeah, to go short because you failed your 2 up failed. You had a strong 2 down. Then you had that tiny hammer around 10.
If Novak breaks the low, it'll be short here, guys.
It continued to fail. So I'm just so like, I wanted in my head, I'm like, well, I should take something. Can I take what I kind of my gut instinct / maybe a little strat instinct and apply that to the pivot? So maybe it's like, well, you didn't make your pivot high, so maybe you came down and maybe you're coming down to pivot low or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes, price expands on these pivots. So sometimes they'll get close, sometimes they'll touch, and sometimes they'll break through.
Yeah, that's sort of the try, like
That's kind of what it did. So it touched it and it came over here. If you look on the pivot on the 5-minute, see how it's touched here 3 different times and it came down and retested it.
I took it again there, yeah.
I mean, look at it. It's like clockwork, man. These they mark something that's important. So it touched 2 times. Each time it touched on the 5-minute, it rejected and came off with a big hammer, some big wicks. And
so 8 lower lows. I'll write that down so I can.
It's over here and it touched, wicked up, it broke through, then retested. On that retest, we took it short right here too.
The guy that talking, there's a guy in the room named Gary. He has Trading View, I believe, and he made his own pivot study. You should see if you can hook up with him.
Okay. Yeah, he named one and I added it. So I was curious, like how customized Jerry's is compared to this one.
Right. It's just basically, I mean, I got Jerry's, but I sat there and figured out the logic on it. It's got to be hit a high, and then I think it's inclusive that candle. It's got to have 8 candles lower to draw that pivot, and then same thing off the bottom.
Yeah. A lot of people use the ADR, and look, if something works, man, I say use it for sure. Whatever helps boost your confidence to take these things, man. I mean, I'm all for it. I'm not diehard strat. I use all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I don't think there's anything too special about my study. I don't think so. But I know it's different. Average daily range, ADR.
Basically, the pivot just helps. It shows you where a low got set in or high got set in, and it reversed off of it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, exactly, John. Yeah. There's something to it. I mean, I don't know what it is, but it's relevant enough. There's enough. It happens more than it doesn't. There's something to it, and it just got to be, it helps me. It's relevant. Stuff it sticks to it. Amazon's trying to push up here, but I can't explain it. But it's like a magnet, I guess. Stuff's drawn to it. How it works, I don't know. Amazon's in a range trying to push up here. It needs to break. Amazon needs to break 34.15. Also, the size of these candles. So, if I'm looking to scalp something, I want to see large, pretty good sized candles on the 5 minute. Right now, these candles are very small, which means it's very small movements every 5 minutes. Still moving $2 or $3 a minute, but I want a large candle. I want large candles to start forming. Shopify is 212 up. We're getting some reversals and stuff now. They're trying to pop out of range, some of them. Some at 120. Tesla made a new a higher low, still in the downtrend. Yeah, Tesla's coming down. Yeah, patterns are everything when it comes to trading. All right, let's look at Novax. It's trying to hit breakthrough pivot low. And it's just chopping. All right, we're sitting here doing this. Let's look at Visa. All right, it's pushed up, retested. Now it's trying to go back up. Trying to break the daily. So Visa might be setting up next week pretty nice. There we go. I like the 4-hour chart because it breaks the day down into two. Here's another tip too, guys. If you have a good solid 2 on the 4 hour in the first half of the day, if price, if it consolidates the rest of the day near the high, near the top, and then finishes in the day at a new high, a lot of times they'll gap up in the morning. And that's what Tesla did the other day when I had those calls. I had a big move in the morning to consolidate in a really tight range the rest of the day. And the next morning it gapped up $20. So it finishes inside on the 4 hour, but in the top, really needs to be in the top 20%. And it should finish the day green on the 4 hour. So inside and green. Yeah, Fubo was nice. Yeah, we scalped Fubo earlier. Lucky Brands. That was one that moves pretty good around earnings. Yeah. Okay, look on the month. There's a push up. And that's the thing. You can make a whole strategy around the pivots. So it breaks it. You take the initial break. You wait till it retests, right? And you take a retest. There's a hammer, a Momo hammer on the month. This ain't been ripping. Starting to slow down on the data. All right, that's what Nike's doing. Same thing with Nike. I mean, this thing's probably going to fill the gap. Maybe. Might take months. I don't know. But this thing gapped up. And now it's sitting here consolidating. It's just chopping sideways. And you can see it. There's usually some pretty good movement in it. Yeah. So if Nike breaks 154.19, guess what? It's gonna be long. All right, First Solar just had a volume increase. Let's pull it up, see what's going on. All right, First Solar, seeds fixing to break out, and volume's increasing on it. So First Solar looks just like Nike right now, right? But it's fixing to break. It had a big gap up. It filled 50%. And I'm checking it. Well, no, that happened over 2 days, but it's the same pattern. Same exact pattern. All right, look there. Push up on the month. There's a retest. And it's going back up. First starts going to pivot high. That big red candle. Same thing as big red candles on the month for the week. It's all the same. The only thing that separates them is time. Same pattern. All right, Zoom's going to be long. It breaks the high here. ZM. All right, there's a 2 down. There's a pullback. Price quickly took them stops out. That's what I'm saying. You can trade in conflict. So look, this thing was all green. Take around the month, the week. It was red on the day, around the 4 hour. So it was in conflict. But if you catch that on the 5:15, Novak's is going to be short as soon as that candle goes solid red. Myrna's going to be short here in a second. We need to keep an eye on Zoom. All right, let me work this right quick. First Solar is going to be long and it breaks $89. All right. At 212 continue on 60. Novak's is short right now. Well, hang on. It's going to be solid. If it starts to pull back on the entry, I'll wait. So Novak's is short here. Let's see what she does. Where's the text target at? It's going to be the pivot low on the 5 minute. The next target. The 91.83. Myrna just ripped. And then 189. Myrna's freaking too. Myrna's short. It's a lot further to go. Target on Myrna's going to be 220. That's not that far. Oh yeah, Zoom. Yeah, I can see it. I'm watching the 15. APPN's breaking too. Target's near the top of the wick on the 60. Yeah, I see him. I'm breaking. So see right here, he's a break 370.15. APPN. The APPN smoking higher highs and higher lows. We're going to go to the top of this red candle, this mother bar. Yeah, big red candle. It's long when it crosses the high of this red candle here. Target's going to be 139 and then 39.73. Oh shit, I missed Shopify. Stuff's starting to pick back up. Oh, Etsy's going up. How big is that move? 62, 67. All right, as soon as Shopify crosses, I'm going to scalp it. Target's going to be pivot high. I'm gonna wait. You look on the 15, it's 212 up. And this wick here corresponds with that pivot. 1466. Myrna's still coming down here. Etsy, she's down on Etsy too. All right, I'm gonna take Shopify. We'll see what she does. Etsy's trying to come up. I'm long Shopify. I'm target 1667. Now Etsy can come back through range. You see that 2-2 on the 30? 2 down, 2 up. Now it needs to really break 185.46, and then we'll target 186.50, and then 187, 188. Shopify. And the spreads are so crazy. You know, I'll go ahead and set an order in, and all it takes is an uptick, you know, and the spread to widen up, and I can get kicked out just while I'm sitting here at present. Yeah, they did. Zoom trying to break the lower. Yeah, it held to it, I guess. I'm trying to fight back up. Of course, you could find some resistance up there and then break back down. Being right to pivot on 30. Yeah. Yeah. We're getting a lot of signals. A lot of stuff's been puking, but it's starting to roll over. Yeah. And I think the flip's very important too. That's a, you know, some of the stuff the Strat has got is incredible. Multi-time frame analysis, golden. Who's in control? The flip. Man, that stuff is gold. It's money. Roku's trying to come up here. Novak still going down. If it breaks below the low here, I'll add to it. You gotta buy next week's calls on this stuff. Or you're gonna get 8. You're gonna get 8 alive if you don't. Come on, Shop, I get your ugly ass up there. I'm down on Shop right now. Novak. What are you doing? Novak's first target's gonna be 192.6. Well, give it low. 91.74.
Jerry, the other day you were on in a Home Depot. You checking
yeah.
that for a bigger chart trade?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you another one too in a second. I'll show you. It's setting up really nice. All right, guys. If Etsy, it's inside right now, 15. If it breaks the top side, it's long. Roku's inside fixing to break, it's gonna be long. Let me see what you do here. Higher time frame. Always show the higher time frames. Yeah. So if you look on the weekly, you know, it pushed up. It's a shooter kind of hammer on the monthly. You know, and a hammer kind of shooter. Right? So on the weekly, you see it push up above the pivot, right? And look at the when it breaks the pivot, got a big ass green candle. It's come back down and retest. Remember, retest does not have to touch. You know, it could break a little bit above it. It could touch exactly or pull back down a little bit and then come back up. There's a retest. There's 2 down, 2 up on the week. All right. You can see the expansion. It's starting to come back up. Now, the reverse is always going to happen lower time frame. And for confirmation, we want to see at least one pullback or more. And it's starting to pick back up. You know, if it continues the trend, which, you know, HD and Lowe's, they're making a lot of money. There's no reason why. There's no reason in hell why this thing should be down at all. You know, ultimate target's 345.69, which is it's going to be magnitude on this thing. Current target 321. So it pushed up on the daily, came back down and retested it. So it's looking really good. Hold it a bit closer here. See it. So you see it broke down, retested, came on down, 2-2 here, got a couple gap ups actually. And if you look on the 4 hour, there's inside, there's pullback consolidation. It's breaking right now, it's consolidated. Well, no, not yet. So when this thing breaks 314, 315, it'll be long. And first target's gonna be 321. Looks like it's still in a long signal right now. Target's gonna be pivot high, 314, 17. But this pivot here on the 60 marks that entry. Right now it's chopping. Yeah, chop. We see that on the 4 hour, that chop. The sideways movements on this. Yeah. The HD is looking really good for a swing. Okay, here's another one. HON. I found that on that swing scan the other day. Look at this beast. HON. Whew. That's a swing. Look at this thing. Pushed up. Needs to break that flat top gonna head there. Gonna push up and retest. Expanding. Inside now. All right. There's that big red candle. We can come back through. All right. So now pushing up. There's a pullback. You know, but it's in a reversal. It's in a reversal trend right now. But it's got a pivot machine gun. Look how packed these stops are in here. If you took Novaks with me, you should be up. But this thing, you know, is incredible. It's gonna be long when it crosses 220. This is a swing and a half here. You know, target's not that far away. It's $14. Still pretty good. It's longer at the second. Target's 220, which is, you know, it's only 25 cents away. It's not worth even messing with. Keep trying to come back up, go to a new high. Yes. It's just slow. They're just so slow right now. You know, space broke out, made a pretty good run, shot sideways. Yeah. Yeah, we should have been in that right there at $49. Yeah, see, we don't play with little small ones. Novaks. The video breaks a low, it'll be short. If we can't pull a lot of money, we don't even play with these things. A big spike in volume inside doji. This thing might come back down.
So what you were just explaining on Honeywell HON is kind of exactly what BAC is looking like right now, or we're very similar, right? BAC
Yeah.
and HON.
Novaks hit first target here. Novaks hit her first target. Yeah, 1 cent link. You manage just in there, and I'll help you. All right, next target on it's pivot low. It's at 189. You said BA's puking right. BA's short right now too. So is
Bank
that
of
what you're
America.
saying of BAC? Myrna's puking still too. She gotta pick one. They're both. I keep them both up because one usually leads and one lags. BAC. Oh yeah, BAC on the 60s got a pretty nice pattern. Yep, big red candle. Now we're gonna run out of time to get to the top of this candle, but you know the target's ultimately 43, 49. And the good thing about BAC is, look at the month. This thing's ripping up, you know, and every time it's on pullback. So, And it's coming back up on a hammer. So the target, we know it's going right back to 43.50. Yeah. So there's the start of your reversal right here. And you're getting consistent pullbacks on the way up. It's inside right now. If you finish strong today. I've got a tight stop on Novavax because it can reject off that pivot. Yeah. Yeah. BAC looks good. Target's going to be the pivot high on the 60. We really want to see a break of that. Right now it's inside. That's why it's showing the inside on the 4 hour. Not that inside wall, just chopped it. Yep. Now we can trade these big red candles because they're just a pivot machine gun on lower time frames. But what I like is, when I'm looking on the 5 minute or something, I love seeing a bunch of red candles. Like they're really tight stacked red candles or green candles. Small bodies, really tightly packed. And say there's $6 in there. It basis, you can pretty much bet there's like a 95% chance that price when it starts reversible will rapidly come up those candles, a set of candles. Now, when it gets to the top, it can reverse and go back against you. But there's a 95% chance it quickly goes up to the top. All right. So that's going to be your target always. You want to sell into the top of it because it's hitting those stops. Now, when it hits the top of it, the bottom of it, it could turn around and go against you. But when you see that, you can at least scalp that zone. And they'll be tight, like they'll be really tight. Like on BAC on the 5 minute here, those are pretty tight. But when you see this pattern, it's they'll be really tight. They'll be really tight stacked in there. And the tighter, the better. Little puppy dog. Steel chop and Marner coming down. Gosh, I got something to shut by. Zoom came up close to the top. Failed. Miserable. But when you start seeing stuff like that, especially early in the day, oh yeah. Sorry, I'm just now reading messages. Then there's a looking for to the short. No, that's yeah. 36, they start picking out. Yeah. So now Novavax is it broke through. It's retesting the pivot low on the 5 minute. Right. So if it rejects, it'll keep going lower here. Trying to keep you out. Let me show you. So this pattern is on every time frame. 5 minute, 30, the day, the week, it's the same. So breaks through pivot low. Wicks off. Now if it rejects to go lower, or it can break through and come up and go higher. So just big huge pivot machine gun. And that's kind of what we're looking for on those the 4 hour chart. Wicks down. We want to see a push up, retesting going. But again, if we want to take it short, we want to see a test of this zone here and then push down. And if you're going to take something like that, you'll take it when it breaks the low. So if you're going to short that, you wouldn't do nothing to cross here. if you're gonna take it long, you're not gonna do anything until it gets above it. You get at least one pullback. You'll take it when it crosses the high for the pullback.
Jerry, would you consider Roku short below 423.50-ish?
I like it, but I tell you, man, the market's so crazy right now. Like it was looking like it was long. So the thing is, you'd want to be at least 20 cents below that area. Now I'll pull it up on 15. And here's why. Every time it came to that area, it wicked right back up. So it wicked up. So it got to this level. It gets that level right there and it wicked right back up. So what it could do is it could expand off that level. So if you take it as soon as it breaks it, it can wick down just a little bit and then come right back up. So if I was going to take it, I'd be at least 20 cents lower than this, maybe even 30 cents. But you could take it. It's just correlating up to what it's doing. It's making lower highs and higher lows. Let's see, that low there is higher than that one. So it's eventually going to break out.
Isn't that though, Jerry, just a 50-50 trade because you're in between the two pivots and you're right in the middle?
Yeah. So what needs to happen is, you're right. There's a 2 and all this is smack in the middle of it. So if you break out, you got to have at least one pullback to the upside. Target's going to be here, or a pullback to the downside, and your target's going to be here. Right now, man, it's really iffy. It's really iffy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna touch it. Thanks, though.
You're welcome.
Right now, basically, Tim, this is just, I mean, my thoughts is your lunch hour on the East Coast, right? So you got the amateurs in. Once they come back, they're going to turn around and most likely take it up. Right now, VIX hasn't moved much, so they're just, killing theta.
Yeah, exactly what you're doing. I mean, just fake it. You think it's going to break to the high, and it don't. Then you think it's going to go short, and they pull it right back up. It's wedging. If you look at all of them, if you look at everything right now, it's making lower highs and higher lows. It's just a wedge. They're burning through your theta. That's all they're doing. Is burning through it. Yeah, you can't do anything. You can scalp it, man, but there's no follow through with anything. Even JKS, it's making lower highs, higher lows. Amazon, same thing. They all look the same. This thing right here is making lower highs and higher lows on the 60. Tesla, same thing. It's just wedging. Murder trying to come back down. Sometimes if you try to find something to trade, you end up giving money back. Sometimes it's just best to cut it. Even the SH.
Jerry, I'm looking at Clorox on the larger charts. When would you take that thing long on a 4 hour?
Was it CRX?
No,
What's the,
CLX. CLX.
okay. Myrna's short here. And our NA short right now. All right, it expanded through range, it's pulled back here. As soon as it breaks the high, 175.64, you could take it short. The first target is going to be the pivot high on the daily, which is 177. It's chopping, and it needs to get outside of this range right here. It's a pretty tight chop. But look right here, it's chopping really tight in this range. It expanded, which is what you want to see. But it needs a break, you know, this high here, really. Right here, you can't do anything that breaks that high. And there's a pivot right there too. I covered it up. So they get you above the pivot and here. Because what can happen is this tight range, even though it did wick out. That's how we always target the pivots. Because it can touch the pivot and then come back down. Span.
Appreciate that. Thanks.
You're welcome. But say it does. You know, it's your first pullback. It could touch that pivot, pull back, and then shoot straight through it. So if it takes out that high, then you can enter it and then target this right here. But you want to be mindful of all the pivots on all different time frames. Because there's support and resistance on all of them. They're just different areas, different zones. And the higher the time frame is, the pivot, the more relevant, the stronger it can be. So a pivot on the daily is stronger than a pivot on the 5 minute. I think Gary's the one that had the flow algo, Ann.
Yeah, it's Gary. He has the flow algo.
That is pull
HD's moving to that pivot on the 4 hour. The two pivots there.
Ooh, HD looks good. Yeah. So if you wanted to swing HD, you can take it long. You swing it, your first order is going to be 321, ultimately 345. Nice. Yeah. So it pushed up, retested this pivot, and then ripped. Yeah. So your first order, it was a pivot high here, 314. Now it's going to be 314.88. Tesla might be going short here, guys. Or it could be probably going to be a fake out. You know, it's a 212 right now on the 60. I think I was going to puke. So Tesla's short right this second. Tesla is short right now. Let's see what we can pull out of it right quick. Deep in the money options.
Jerry, if you're dealing with, that HD, don't you want to clear both of those two shooters on that 4 hour? So you want to clear probably 315?
Yeah. Let me pull, I'll pull it up and see. 1 second. On HD 4-hour, let's take a look. See what to do.
I mean, it seems like the highs, you got two shooters there. I think when you clear that, then it goes through, but at least you've, cleared.
It's long right now, right this second. Let's see here.
But I mean, if you're trying to swing longer,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but you can, it's in this range right now. It's above pivot. So let me pull this up right quick. So see how this pivot here, this pivot here extends.
but the 4 hours pretty close to the same pivot on that 30-minute. So, risk return's not there much.
Yeah, the top of those shooters are gonna be right here. Right here. There and there. Yeah, you could take it with your so if you take it now, your target's gonna be these shooters, the top of them. And it's definitely safer to wait until it clears them for sure. 100%. Yeah, you always want to get past those because price can come up to that, and these shooters mark the pivot on the lower time frame. Yeah, so that is the pivot. So your target's there. You're hoping to break through that. If it breaks through, it'll take you to here because now you got a gigantic red candle come off, which is a lot of stops to take out along the way. Ultimately, be here, and you see there's a bunch of big red candles that come up. Gap, which should move quickly through there. If I had a bet, I would say that HD is going to get back to that price. I don't know when. I say pretty soon.
Well, I think one of the things that's going to help it get going is next few months, right? We're in hurricane season. So HD low, Generac, all those are good ones to have long-term just for hurricanes.
Yeah, they make such good money. So every time it came to the 314.88 level, it whipped back. So it's touched 2 times. Every time it touched it, it rejected it. So to break through there, it's gonna need a lot of volume. So you can usually see a big push through there. Which would be nice. Yeah, we're getting a lot of chat. See mine? Ooh, Baidu's breaking right now. I just don't trust it though. I guarantee you, here's what's gonna happen. It's breaking. Watch it. They'll pull it right back in. And if it comes up, the target's only 15 cents away. VIX is starting to pull back down. It's trying to triangle it out. If it does, it can bring the market back up. So VIX is trying to triangle out on the 60. Can bring SPY with it. So SPY might end the day pretty green. It needs to break 426.50 really though to take it. SPY's moved $1 today, all day. Shot finally broke. I gotta stop that. Monitor's still peaking. Yeah, did ya?
Funny to hear the train there. CSX has a split next week. CSX.
It'll be a small run up to it. Myrna's puking here. 2-1-2-5 are down. Target still 220. Baidu has not wicked back yet. Reply. Baidu's 2-1-2-60. Target's only a few cents away one. I'm still in Tesla short here. The video is showing a short signal. Just don't trust it. I don't trust anything. If something shows you a signal to get in, do the opposite. Minus 2 people. Oh no. A lot of stuff just crap. Murder's the only one that's cooperating. Depositing some checks in the bank. Love it. PS trying to do something here.
Oh, thank you. I love you.
Nobody's just trying to go short, trying to TTO 15 or down. This is garbage. Ain't nothing doing nothing. Yeah, happy hour sounds good. PNC Bank, what are you doing? PNC, man, look at PNC Bank. It's slowly coming up there. Look at that 2-tick. Oh, this could be a swing. There's a push up on the daily. It's a retest of pivot low, coming right back to pivot high, which is 198. About a 5 hour swing.
I'm still holding the JP Morgan from yesterday and added to it several times.
Nice. JP Morgan's nice, man. All banks are, because they're doing that infrastructure, right? They all want a piece of the pie. JP Morgan's got room to 167. First target's going to be 160. Yeah, so it tests off the pivot low, come right back to the range. What's right about these pivots? They show you instantly. Oh shit, Amazon. Amazon's breaking right now. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. It based, it's breaking consolidation and starting to roll back up. Target's only $4 away. Oh, shit. All right, Amazon's pushing up here. Novak's trying to TTO. Myrna's still puking. I'm not confident enough to take Amazon right now. All right, I'm gonna take Amazon long now. Myrna's still short. Novak's is gonna be short. Myrna's is crazy. I'm gonna take Amazon.
Tesla.
Myrna's. Tesla's trying to keep you back up. It needs to come back up more though. Gosh. It is definitely 2-2 in Amazon. Shit. Look at Myrna. It broke through consolidation. You're gone. Next target on it's going to be 218. Amazon ripping. Shopify showing a Momo hammer. All right, Amazon. She's the target here. And make her break it. Come on, shoot back up there. Volume's increasing on Amazon. Yeah. Myrna's still puking. Novak's going to be short here in a second. There you go, Amazon. Let's go break. Come on. All right, let's watch Tesla right quick. I'm looking at Shopify to take it long too. It's doing a Momo hammer. It needs to break the high. It is making higher highs and higher lows now. I'd love to see it break this pivot though. It's so close to that pivot on the way. Let's take a look. Tesla's trying to do something here. Tesla expanded on a 5-minute here. It'd be nice if it made a big old hammer on 60. I'd love for Tesla to come up and finish at about $800. Man, it really needs to come on up. It is curling up here. And get a pullback. It's in a pretty tight range here. It's a $6 range, which is, I guess it's okay, but it needs a lot more.
Sitting as an inside day.
Yeah, so choppy. It can come up through. It can come back through there, but still, it's so iffy. You know what? I'd love to see it over 677. Murner's gonna be short again if it or add to it if it crosses over the well. Yeah. So Eric, what I do is Monday through Wednesday, and then Thursday before lunch, I buy weekly calls, and then I buy them at the money. And then Thursday after lunch, I'll tend to buy either deeper in the money or next week expiration because of time decay. If price is just chopping. Myrna's gonna add. I'm gonna add to Myrna right now. But on Fridays in the first hour, you could buy 0 DTE. They expire the same day. As long as you get a big move or a quick, a lot of money. After about 10:30, I'll start buying next week's expiration if price is gonna move. Myrna's short here, guys. And after that time, so I will still buy 0 DTE on a ticker that has the possibility to move a lot. Like Shopify or Amazon or Google or something like that. They can move a lot very quickly, but I'll buy them deep in the money. Like really, really, really deep in the money. So I try to get around 90-cent delta because they're cheap. Myrna's puking here. Tesla's just not doing nothing. Myrna's puked again. Target's 218. I'm gonna go ahead and join the ask here and take profits. I'm gonna join it as it gets close. So I'm gonna get kicked out because it could come down and touch and bounce and turn around and go the other way. Who knows? Or it could come all the way down to 205. I don't care. And sometimes when you join the ask, it could take a few seconds. And I'm all out. So Etsy's got a Momo shooter down. You can't trust it. Can't trust it.
PLTR right now, huge volume, huge volume.
PLTR, sure. Oh, sheesh. Target's 27.49. Makes you kind of pull back again in the dang thing. A million. There's a pullback across the back over 2687. You can hop in. I wonder where the volume's coming from. So it's long right now. I'd probably be scalping it. Good thing is they're pretty cheap. 5 more minutes, volume's gonna pick up still. Come on, push on it. I would just scalp it, because you'll have to sit through that pullback if you don't. I don't know what kind of news it's got. Nice find, Corey. Spy. Oh yeah, Spy looked really good. Yeah, nice on that. Spy's gonna look really good over 426.50. It might go into the weekend really nice and strong.
That's a lot of volume in that PLTR, especially late in the day. There must be some news coming out.
A lot, yeah. So Hardy, we want to get as much as we can, my guy. We'll never make as much as the market makers, though. Friday, 0 DTE calls. They're cheap right now. Ooh, she goes. Nice, fine, man. Holy crap. Moving.
More hands, more eyes, more keyboards.
Yeah. You make good money on those Amazon puts. Yeah, Amazon. It puked out, didn't it? That's a big old move on Amazon this morning. Amazon's amazing. Let's look at it. Yeah, this morning it died. Straight down. 3408. So that was roughly 50, 56, $57 drop. I caught some of it scalping on the way down. Yeah, $50 move, yeah. Yeah, some of these moves, some people they'll trade the smaller moves, but in this room we're targeting the huge moves. Like this move here can make your whole month, and you get options that are cheap. They're dirt cheap. I mean, and you could do it with you can make a lot of money with one contract. Shit ton. That's how as long as you're careful, you can really grow your account. And those calls were cheap this morning. They're like $600. Make sure you go on Twitter and say, man, we killed it in Big O's room today. Now, I took Amazon calls. I'm still in one. I am down on it. It ain't hit my stop yet, but it's pretty damn close. Stops at 34.06. Dang, Corey, killed it. This thing is due a pullback though, guys. Docu's rolling up. There's a Momo hammer for me. You can add each time it crosses the top here. It breaks that side number, it'll keep going. Earlier I put a space on Twitter. I sent an alert to take that break at $53. So anyway, it followed that tweet. They got in right here. Want that at Amazon. That's probably a signal. I'm starting to give money back. You have to be rolling over. I wouldn't give any back either. I'd give it 50% of this candle here. Shop kicked ass today too. Was it shop? 36. That was $55 too. Myrna's supposed to go short again. Man, Shopify looks like garbage. Myrna's supposed to go short again. Warner's going down again. Warner's just ain't gonna stop. Target's still right here. 217.62. And then 214.38. That's another entry right there. It's just really close to this target. It's no problem. Tell you what, Shoptiger breaks that top, she's gonna be moving. Spy's trying to break. So look, Shop's hitting this flat top here, making higher lows. It breaks that flat top. You'll see 66 real quick. Just a $3 move zone. Look at it. See, it's rolling over on the daily. It pushed it to weekly, expanded. So if it wants to, it can come right back down through this range. I doubt it. I think it's going to be, I mean, look at the month. This thing's in beast mode. I think it finds a base and starts coming back through range. I think it'll come back up to 50, 52. Of course, it can roll over and, you know, retest 1278. I don't think so, though. Amazon 2 back up. Essie's 2 back up. Oh shit, that's what Spy here. You know what? Shop's trying to break. Amazon's trying to break too. Shop's pretty close. Oh, PLTR was added to the Russell 2000 at that. Party, did you make a killing on Amazon? Yeah. Yeah, this stuff's it's so choppy right now. anything with it. All right, leave those. Well, I'm gonna get some more stuff on a 20% scan. Let's take a look right there. Find some momentum place. Lulu's bouncing off the bottom, they expanded, trying to come back through. It's only a dollar target, and we're messing with. All right, HCA, increase in volume, chopping. Auto desk sitting at the top here. You see it broke from that candle there. Expanded. Trying to come back through now. Chopping. Rocks. Broke back below a low, pivot high on 60, retest, could go back through range. About $10. Okay, it's up shop. Wow. Man, look at the month though. Goodness gracious. This could turn into a nice swing here. Nice, but it could move $2.50. Novak is fixing to go short here. So we're gonna mark the top of this pivot here. Amazon. I just don't trust Amazon. Amazon. Make sure that pivot high just bouncing. Shopify shot again. Oh, nice job, man. Spider just blew through it. Nice. Yeah, them buy informations, man, sometimes they're to the penny. Sometimes they're to the penny. Now, shops right at the top again. It's wedging here. It'll eventually break out. It'll break out or fail. Now, I'd love to see Shopify over 1467 because it's got this big red candle come up. It could quickly come up through there. Myrna's still puking, puked all day. Novak's is throwing a short signal. KSU. Pull out. The volume increase on Discovery. The push up retest in the 5 minute. And so this thing's gonna come to 125.38. See, these are these candles here, these T2s, is exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for a strong month. We're looking for a 2-2. We want to catch it as it starts to pull back, and the target's going to always be pivot high. EPS showing some strength. Myrna's just dying. The target on this is 125.38. So you take it when it crosses 123.83. Let's see here, test. 12:45. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna call it. It's just too much garbage. I'm gonna end up giving more money back if I don't quit now.
Have a good one, Jerry.
You too. Y'all have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday. Now, APPM is still pushing, but it's just slow. Can't really do anything with it.
Have a good weekend, Jerry.
You too. I appreciate y'all very much. And
Thank you, Jerry. Have a good weekend.
you too. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. We had a pretty good week. I think so. Y'all are very welcome. Glad to have y'all here today. And next week's a new week. And we will do it all over again. Make some more money. Lose a little bit, make a lot more than we lose. I appreciate y'all too. You have to go in. If you're new to the strat or you're new to my strategy, be sure to go through the recorded videos and especially pay attention to that first hour. That's so important, is that first hour. There's a lot going on, but you can kind of, if you slow it down, you can kind of see what I'm seeing. You know, so when you see me take an entry, you know, pay attention to the higher time frames. Look at the lower time frames and see exactly where I'm getting in on these things and what the pattern is. The pattern is the most important part. You know, you'll see a lot of times the patterns I trade they're repeatable. They're all repeatable and they all look the same. And again, the only thing that separates them is time. That's the only thing. Just, you know, there's patterns, and then there's the actual signals. You know, and there's only like 4 or 5 that I trade usually. And you can really just pick one. Just start one and study it and master it before you move to the next. If you try to learn them all at the same time, you're going to miss them. You know, just pick one. And you can build a strategy, a whole entire strategy just around these pivots, the break and the retest, or the bounce through the base, the pivot low, and then they retrace. And they happen on the 5 minute, 15, 30, and 60. If you want to swing, take them on 4 hour. There. UPS is pretty strong here. Take a look. It's got that big red candle come back through. APPN slowly pushing. So UPS looks pretty good here. It's not, it's actually making higher highs. It's not choppy like everything else is right now. Target's 206.35. Things had a gap fill. It's not that big of a move though. So you always want to think about your risk to reward. Now, this thing's got the potential to move 50 cents, right? That's way up here. Now, if you're Delta, if you buy next week's calls, it's going to be slow. There's no sense in buying deep in the money because it's just 50 cents. It's going to take some time to get there. So if it moves 50 cents and hits your target, great. But if it don't, you might lose 60 bucks to make 50. So you always want to think, what am I willing to lose, and what am I willing, what am I going to gain? And that's why I try to target these big ones. My gain's always going to be a lot more than loss. Or this one, it would be about equal, especially the options. You could lose, you might lose 20 bucks. If you're not careful, you might lose 50. So you always want to think about, what am I gonna, what might I lose on something like this? Is it even worth it? If it's not worth it, then you just skip it. And especially with the options, you're gonna have a decent move, or you just skip it, even with a really nice setup. Now this is great this morning. Now the whole market's chopping. The whole market's chopping. There's oh shit, we just missed shot. What I get for talking. It finally broke that flat top. See there? So if Shopify is long, we need a small pullback to get in it. There's a pullback right there. So it's long right now. Let me take it right quick. Target's 14.89 on this thing. Let me get my Amazon loss back. Look, I'll give it back. I've been watching that thing for an hour. Roku's ripping. APPN ripping. So we need to keep an eye on Tesla too. All right, let's go inside up. Okay, there we go. Now we're seeing some green. First target, 71 here. I'm gonna go ahead and set a limit like I normally do. Here, I want to pull this trade tab up. So you can see. Let me kick that by the time I show you what I'm doing here. So they're deep in the money calls. 14.20. All right, see the spread? There's like a $600 spread. So all I gotta do is put it at 49.50. See there? I'm out instantly. Instantly. So the $600 spread there, 49. I said it just a little bit below it, and it's out instantly. So you use it towards your advantage. So see how this see that damn it. See how it's at 52.50 down here on the ask? You watch this. When price is moving up, this shit opens up $100, $200, $300. It's pulling back now, so you're not going to see it. But as it kicked up there, the spread went from 49 to 52 instantly. And those asks were right on the top. You know, these people, they know what they're doing. They're selling them. And what they're doing is retail comes in and see it push up. And what they do, they snatch it up. Now it's pushing back up again. I'm not back in it, but I just want to show you. All right, now watch this. Price pushes up 51.30. Down here's an order for 52.50. Now it's gone. It's pulling back. But when price pushes up, man, it gets crazy in here. And that's how you use it to your advantage. You gotta use it to your advantage. Now look, the price in this contract is $3,900. The one price is, you catch that spread, it's just like, it's just crazy. I need to show you, I guess. I don't know how to show you, but
You can't really go in with a market on that though, isn't it? You're like $10 apart.
well, not when it's pushing. When it pushes, it'll tighten right up. I don't know how to explain it, but it works, man. Yeah, so I always mark it in. Always, always, always. If you'll see price when it starts to increase. When it starts to increase, the spread tightens out. Let me see if we can see it spike up here. Let's see if we can get another spike on it. When it gets close to, when that candle gets full, these prices, they tighten up. Let's see if it'll pop one more time. Okay, here we go. Now watch the spread. Oh, ripping right now. Well, I don't know.
Because if you try and get in right there, what? You got a $5 spread.
Yeah, but when I hop in, I don't care. That's the only problem. I can't explain it, man, but it worked. That's all I can say. Yeah. I don't know. But it works. So I can't explain it, but it works. Usually it's a tighten right up. Yeah, so it's spready. I know it is, but let's see one about 80. Let's see if it goes up here. I'll re-enter here. If it breaks the high, I'll get back in it. Let me get it ready. Hang on. I'm watching on my screen. Watch the bid and the ask on it. As soon as it crosses, I'll move it. Fixing to hit it. I mean, mine is I don't know.
I'm not sure about the Russell. I haven't done a ton of research into how you get admitted into it.
This last hour, you probably see a lot of stuff changing at IWM. They're gonna rebalance it. So if you're playing any GameStop or any of those small ones, there's gonna be some huge swings because they're gonna rebalance this in the next hour.
Yeah, I was showing somebody earlier on this, and when the price came up, there was literally a 50-cent spread on it. So I don't know why it's not doing it now, but earlier today, it tightened up to 50 cents in between this. So it's not gonna cross. Friday.
I've noticed that on expiration day, it seems later in the day, the spreads get a little bit wider.
Yeah, it could, and that could be the case. I don't know. I mark it in, I'm telling you, and then it's timing. It's something. They're usually up at least by, the minimum 0.5, 0.6%, usually 2 or 3%. Even on Shopify, it's usually 1%. But when I get in, it spikes. You see it every time it pushes up, it instantly jumps, a couple dollars instantly. As soon as it crosses the pivot, it's right at this thing can go up to 14.90 once it continues. It's right at the top of this wick here. Yeah, the spreads open up a little bit, but during the day, like during the regular part of the week or early in the morning, I don't do it. APPN is still pushing it. I don't pay no mind to the yeah, they're spready, you know what I'm saying? But the way I trade, it don't phase me. I don't care. I'm gonna say I use it to my advantage. Because I'm watching the bid ask spread on there, and it's price, because these market makers are the people selling them, they'll start throwing wide spreads out there, man. There'll be 200 or 300 points spread on them. And as they start buying them, numbers come in on the ask, they start buying the ask, and they're starting to, I know they're rolling in, buying market, and then all I gotta do is set it $5 below it, and I get filled first, first in line. I use my advantage. The thing is, you don't want to be caught on the downhill side. That's why I try to trade the most high probability setups on these things, on the breaks. I'm always showing the breaks. I'd like to cut this here. Let me show you. I've been watching it for an hour. I got to talk and I missed it. But here, I'll show you right quick before I go. That flat, this point right here is a flat top breakout. Price is pushing higher. All right, it's a wedging, just a wedge, a flat top breakout. Making higher lows. It wicked this point. I knew when it wicked it and finally broke it, push. And when it did, it's just a massive push. And then it goes inside here and then up. So it's just a 2-1-2 there. Now I don't want to do it. It's probably could retest.
Calls are like 10 cents for day. I think it's not a bad idea to get like 1 or 2 testing.
Alrighty, guys, I've had enough fun. NVIDIA's pushing up right here strong. NVIDIA's coming straight back up. Etsy's trying to break back up to the top. APPN's just ripping. APPN's going. It's probably been the most consistent. So it breaks this flat top here and pushes out. Let me look at the video real quick. The video's broke pivot, making higher highs and higher lows. Target on this thing right here is 776. It's $14 away. Guess I might be throwing a long signal here in a second. So the video is long right now. It's long right this second. Target 776. Why has it got that big brick in? It's supposed to come up. You can target individual candles. First target's gonna be 763 here. What's going on? Etsy's throwing a long signal right now. First target 763 is almost there. They hit first target. Next target's going to be 764. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and join the house. Mess around with it. No. Yeah, I'm out. Myrna's trying to go short again on a TTO to downside. Myrna's shorter add to it. The video can still see 765 here. Myrna's been puking all day. It's below this right here, see? First shot, retest done, short. Next target on Myrna. 214, 3 hours away.
Hey Jerry, what do you think of GS?
Goldman Sachs. Let's take a look. I think all the banks are going to be high. Like Goldman Sachs. Oh yeah, Goldman Sachs looks good. So you see the month, just a strong push up. Kind of a doji pulling back up. So it was red. Now it's pulling back up in a doji. It's inside, so it made a higher low. We can expect this thing to go 212 up. I see target being 393.26. I'd wait till it broke the high. So probably at 370. You can take it long. Looking really good though for a swing. Plus targets that pivot. If you look at it, just a week or so ago, maybe a month ago, it pulled back just as hard and came up. We actually caught it for a swing here and here. Let's keep you out here. Easy money, consistent.
Look at Space taking out the high of the day.
And Space has got room to 62. Damn. Yeah, Space has got room to $62. They can take out the month. 62.80 target on this thing. So there's a 212 on the 4 iron basically. The video's trying to go again. Here's a pullback. If you want to get in Space, you got to get in it when it crosses 56.79 here. Volume is increasing right now on it. Inside. There she goes. She's long right now. Nice, man. Good eyes. Target 62. Volume's increasing on it. Dramatic. 224 million shares traded today. Averages 29 million a day. The video's fixing to go long again. Come on, Texas, pop up here at the end of the day. Oh shit, Spy's long. Spy is long right now.
If HD holds here, could be a solid close for that longer swing.
Okay. Yeah, HD, I think, man, it's got major potential. Yes, PMG right now. Yeah. Be nice going to win. It could gap up too. HD's long right now. HD. All righty, guys. I'm out of here. Y'all have a great, beautiful weekend.
Sure,
All
Jerry.
right.
Thank you, Jerry.
You're welcome. I appreciate y'all. If I see anything happening right here at close or something, I'll pop back in. I don't see much happening now. A lot of stuff just that was pushing has pulled right back in. I just don't think they're gonna do anything right now. Spy looks good, but it still needs to pop back above the high. So, Myrna's puking. It's about the only thing that's happening is Myrna's dying. Every time something comes up to make a new high, it pulls right back. So keep an eye on HD. Can break that 315 though, for sure. So, Base, you say it should hold. If you want to try to get a bigger move out of it, it's a hold 55, 67, but really you don't want to get back that much. Even Tesla is making new highs this point right back. I appreciate y'all, and we will see you Monday morning.
Have a good weekend.
Okay, thank you.